Good morning.
Good morning.
We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You've come with clear intent. Some things you're wanting to clarify. Vibrational adjustment. Things you want to convey. Things you want to soothe in your own vibration. We put those words out to you specifically because we think it is of value for you to consider what true deliberate creating is, what the real art of allowing is. Because there are so many things that you could think about, and so many things that you could consider, and so many things that you are considering, and therefore so many vibrations that you could potentially activate within yourself. Physical humans come to a place where they often think that creating is about looking at the possibilities, good and bad, wanted and unwanted, and then choosing the wanted, but defeating the unwanted. Humans so often get fixated on their awareness of what they don't want and what they don't like and what they don't want to live, about injustices or unfairnesses, about inappropriate things, and then somehow forget everything that they've ever known about the law of attraction and about the true creative process as they set out to defeat unwanted things. And we want to remind you that you cannot defeat something unwanted, because in your attention to what you are attempting to defeat, you are activating the very vibration within you that you don't want any part of. And in your effort to push against the unwanted, instead of making it go away, you make it come closer to you and fluff up in bigger fashion and show itself to you more, and present itself as an obstacle in your life even more. We know how you reach that place. It is because contrast evokes from you awareness and conclusion and preference. And we also know that when you know what you do want, it is often born out of what you don't want. But we want to remind you that once you have defined what it is that you prefer, no matter what it is, whether it's your own personal bodily conditions, whether it's your own personal relationships, whether it's something that you would appreciate or desire on a global level, once you have identified the preference that you define as more pleasing to you, you must give your undivided attention to that preference and line up with it. Because there is no right or wrong that is definable by the world or by the greater context of mass consciousness that is viewing it. There is no right or wrong that you will all agree ever. You will never get everyone to agree with you. You will never even get 80% of you to agree. And so when you decide that well-being hinges upon convincing large bodies of others that you are right and they are wrong, when all of them are trying to do the same thing, you have a standoff that brings you to your knees. When you put yourself in a place where your happiness in this moment depends upon your being able to effectively convince large numbers of others, you disempower yourself. And if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not go about it in that way. We would acknowledge that we are an extension of source energy, and that source energy is flowing to us and through us at all times. And that the variety that we are living helps us to personally define our preference. And then we would turn our attention to that which we have discovered and decided that we prefer, and we would speak only of that. We would become such vibrational alignment with that which we prefer that we would not introduce into our personal vibration contradictory energy. And when you find yourself in a place where you are not contradicting your own energy with statements or thoughts of pushing against unwanted, now you are purely aligned with that which is source. And as you are purely aligned with that which is source, and purely aligned with the idea of your desire, now you are powerfully influential. And now law of attraction is responding to the vibrational signal, that pure signal, that consistent signal, that steady signal that is emanating from you. When you say, I want this, you offer a signal about it which law of attraction begins to match. When you say, I don't want this, you offer a signal which law of attraction begins to match. So when you say, these things I like, but these things I don't like, you're sending out mixed signals. When you say, I want something, but I do not have it. When you say, I need it to be this way, but it is this way. You are offering signals not only about what you want, but about what you don't want, contradicting your own vibration, putting yourself in a state of resistance, law of attraction answering everything that you're offering, and then your life is sort of a muddle. And then you say, my life is a muddle because those people are doing things that I don't want them to do. And we say, you can't make them stop doing those things. In fact, the harder you push against the things they're doing, the more they do those things. Because you activate within yourself a vibration that literally gives them the current with which to do those things. If you want something to go away, you must withdraw your attention from it. And this is opposite of what most humans understand. Most humans really believe that if they can gather up their forces and push their forces against something unwanted, that they will defeat what is not wanted. And they are so short-sighted in their ability to see it doesn't go away. It gets bigger and squirts out in another place and squirts out in another place and squirts out in another place and squirts out in another place. So if you decide that your happiness depends upon somebody else coming into agreement with you, you've got a long, hard task ahead of you. But if you discover that your agreement, the only agreement that is needed, is the vibrational agreement within you, and then you work to align your own energies, now you are vibrationally pure. And by that we mean you're sending a signal about what you want, not a signal about what you want, don't want, don't want, don't want. The universe hears you. Please bring me that, not that, not that, and that, not that, not that, not that, and that. And so what the universe brings you is that, because there is no not in this vibrational universe. There's no exclusion in this vibrational universe. You can't shout no at something without the universe hearing yes. When you say, please, bring to me this thing I want, this thing you want is activated within you and coming to you. When you say, please, bring not this thing that I abhor, you're saying yes to this thing that you abhor, because there is no such thing as yes or no. There is only yes, 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 yes. Your words do not matter. Sometimes you can get words that are meaningful to you, and you can speak words that will evoke from you feelings. Affirmations are offered in that way because sometimes if you say something long enough, you begin to believe it. But what we notice for the most part is that the way you feel is an absolute response to the vibrational core of that which you are emanating. And that vibrational emanation is what is being matched by law of attraction, and your words, frankly, mean very, very little. You want your words to mean a lot. You want to get all puffed up. You want to make strong statements. You want to use eloquent words to push against one another. But what happens is you just keep watering down your own vibration. So then what happens is the muddle of a vibration that you emanate equals the muddle of life experience that you live. And then most of you are wanting to give somebody else the credit for your muddle. And we're wanting you to understand that your only true empowerment will come in the realization that your muddle is yours. and that you have control over your clarity or your muddle. You have the ability to line up with things wanted or line up with things not wanted or line up with a combination of all. And what you discover in that which you manifest is that what you are thinking and feeling and what is manifesting is always a vibrational match. You came forth into this physical experience, this leading edge physical experience, knowing the value of it, knowing the deliciousness of interacting with others and helping each other be stimulated to new ideas and personal preferences. And you knew out of your interaction with each other that you would collectively and individually conclude things that were personally important to you. And you were excited about doing that because then, as you were making your entrance into physical experience, you knew something that many of you seem to have forgotten. You knew that when you ask, it is always given. You knew that your personal preference would be honored. You knew that if it was important enough to you that a desire be born within you, that source energy would grant you access to circumstances and events that would fulfill that desire. You knew that. And you did not feel competition of others. You did not worry that if you asked for something and it was given to you, that you would, in receiving it, deprive someone else of something that they might want. And in like manner, you weren't worried that they'd get the stuff either. You knew that when anyone asks, that it is given, and you knew that this universe is big enough to accommodate all desires. And you never for a moment thought that you would have to come forth into this physical experience and defeat a whole bunch of others in order to win what you wanted, because you understood the infinite supply of resources, because you were at that point standing in the knowledge of that which you call God force, in the knowledge of that which you call creative life force. You knew who you were then, and so you were not afraid. You were not afraid of someone running over you. You were not afraid of getting left out of the mix. You were not afraid that somebody else would get more than their fair share. You were not afraid that there would be some evil force that would take things over that you would need to stand and defend against. You knew better then. You knew that source energy flows, and you knew that you were of that source energy, and you expected good things to come to you. And so you said, I will go forth into this time-space reality, and I will don my personal perspective that I view through the eyes of self. And you knew that through the eyes of self that you would conclude preferences that were important to you, and you knew that when the preference was concluded that you would radiate a vibrational signal of request and that source would answer it, and you expected to be part of the leading edge force that would take thought beyond that which it has been before. You never once said, I will go forth and clean up this mess. You never once said, I will go forth and convince those that are wrong-minded to think the right way. You never once said, this space isn't big enough for all of us, so we will kill those that do not agree. You never once said, I am so powerless that I need to gather together with armies of others to push against those that disagree, because from that non-physical perspective, you knew your power, you knew your self-empowerment, and you did not feel envy or jealousy of others who had self-empowerment, because you knew it was equally offered to all. And you said, what a glorious time-space reality that I could go forth into, where my ideas will be stimulated, and when my idea is born, all I have to do is be true to my own idea. And as I align with my own idea, the resources of the universe will be given to me, and my idea will come to fulfillment for the personal satisfaction of that which is me, the perceiver of my idea.